Good evening. So my mic was muted for a second there. Um, I hope everyone is doing well, and thank you so much for tuning in. It's a Sunday evening, so that means we're bringing you another session of the Wusa Wisdom readings um, with your host, Bongisipho. And we'll be continuing um, from where Savyasachi Das Prabhu left off yesterday with the Ask a Monk question, Ask a Monk session rather. And yeah, earlier today we had quite an enlivening class as usual on the Sunday morning inspiration session. I think this one personally was more enlivening than usual. And the class was delivered by His Holiness Sri Krishna Chaitanya Swami, just delivering one of the most amazing pastimes of Lord Krishna, the killing of the serpent. I forgot the name of the serpent, but yeah, just quickly, my main takeaway from it was when Shri Krishna Chaitanya Swami mentioned that all the demons that were killed by Krishna during his advent, I think there were six, and they symbolize the six what you call the six undesirable qualities that we have as the people in this material world, the living beings in this material world, especially as human beings in the Kali Yuga, or the age or the era of hypocrisy and quarrel that we currently live in. So those six demons that were killed represent the six undesirable qualities that you also, in order to get to a level of say you are purified, then you have to also not only water the seed of bhakti, but you also have to weed sort of cut out these undesirable qualities in order to make steady progress. So very, very enlivening. And let us begin with the reading. And before that, as usual, I will be doing a short invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so we begin. The book that we're reading from is called Civilization and Transcendence. And Savyasachi Prabhu was just telling me that it's these questions, they were sent by publication, an Indian publication that was based in Bombay, and they were sent to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, and Pushta Krishna Prabhu was asking the questions on behalf of the publication, and Srila Prabhupada was giving the answers. So just a small backstory of this book. So now we are on question number 3 of this publication, being read by Pushta Krishna. So it says, question number 3, it is said that the greatest strength of Hinduism is its Catholicity, or breadth of outlook, but that this is also its greatest weakness. in that there are very few common prescribed religious observances which are obligatory for all, as in other religions. Is it necessary and possible to outline certain basic minimum observances for all Hindus? And Srila Prabhupada's response: so far as the Vedic religion is concerned, it is not simply for the so-called Hindus that is to be understood. This is Sanatan Dharma, the eternal and universal nature and duty of every living being. Just a quick sort of thought that popped up in my head. You know, when Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, Prabhupada, he's spent quite a lengthy period of time, you know, explaining this whole Sanatan Dharma concept. And in one of his lectures, he mentioned that Dharma, the word itself, you know, it has different, it can have a few sort of minor differences in the meaning of it. But then one explanation that I gravitated towards was when he was explaining that Dharma, it's like the symptom of, you know, or the essence of something being that. For example, when we talk about fire, if you speak of fire and there's no heat or light, then then that thing, you know, it doesn't qualify to be called fire. You know, its very essence, its very nature is to give heat and light. You know, that is its dharma when we talk about fire. So now us as spirit souls, similarly, our dharma is to be servant, is to be part and parcel of Krishna, and always to feel connected with him. So yeah, just that quick side note. So this is Sanatan Dharma, the eternal and universal nature and duty of every living being. It is for all living entities, all living beings. That is why it is called Sanatan Dharma. That I've already explained. The living entity is Sanatana, or eternal. God is Sanatana, and there is Sanatan Dharma, the Lord's eternal abode, as Krishna described in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse 20. Paras tasmat tu bhavo anyo vayakto avayaktat sanatana. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal. And in the 11th chapter of Krishna, in the 11th chapter, Krishna himself is described as Sanatana. Do you remember? He is described as Sanatana, the supreme eternal. So actually, the Vedic system is called Sanatan Dharma, not Hindu Dharma. This is a wrong conception. This Sanatan Dharma is meant for all living entities, not just the so-called Hindus. The very term Hindu is a misconception. The Muslim referred to the Indian people who lived on the other side of the river Sindh as Sindhus. Actually, due to the peculiarities of pronunciation, as Hindus. In any case, the Muslims called India Hindustan, which means the land on the other side of the river Sindh or Hind. Otherwise, Hindustan has no Vedic reference. So this Hindu Dharma has no Vedic reference. I love how His Divine Grace Prabhupada is cleared up so many misconceptions, you know, when it comes to this religion's practice Bhakti Yoga specifically. And the main point that is hammering at, it's that the word Hindu is a geographical designation. It has nothing to do with religion. And as he said, the Muslims, they used to pronounce the C as a he, you know. So the SI, which is the prefix to the Sindhu, was used to sort of delineate that these people are from this side of the Sindhu River, and they used to pronounce it as Hindu. So that's how the word came about. And he's also done a very nice job of highlighting exactly what Sanatan Dharma is, and the meaning of the word Sanatana as being eternal, as meaning eternal. So continuing with the reading, the real Vedic Dharma is Sanatan Dharma, or Varnashram Dharma. First of all, one has to understand this. Now that Sanatan Dharma or Vedic Dharma is being disobeyed, distorted, and misinterpreted, it has come to be understood as Hinduism. That is a fake understanding. That is not the real understanding. We have to study Sanatan Dharma or Varnashram Dharma, then we'll understand what the Vedic religion is. And as Savya Prabhu was just explaining to me that this Varnashram Dharma, it's for facilitating the spiritual growth of everyone, and sort of categorizes human beings according to their specific sort of strengths, you'd say, or according to their specific aptitudes, and being the mainly 4 divisions, which is the Brahmanas, the Vaishya class, the Sudras or the working class, as well as the Kshatriyas or the administrators. But if you want to hear more about that, please check out Savyasachi's Ask a Monk from yesterday, which he clearly explained this whole concept of an ashram system. So yeah, back to the reading. So every living entity is eternal, Sanatana. God is eternal, and we can live with God in his Sanatan Dham, his eternal abode. This reciprocation is called Sanatan Dharma, the eternal nature and duty of the living being. So Vedic religion means this Sanatan Dharma, not Hindu Dharma. Read the verse from Bhagavad Gita that describes Krishna as Sanatana. So Radha Vallabha reads, Tvam Aksharam Paramam Veditavyam Twayam Asya Vishvaya Param Nidanam Tvam Avyaya Shashvata Dharma Gupta Sanatanas Tvam Purusho Mato Me. You are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place for this universe. You are inexhaustible, and you are the supreme eternal. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. Srila Prabhupada. This understanding is wanted. Krishna is eternal. We are eternal. And the place where we will live with him and exchange our feelings, that is eternal. And the system which teaches this eternal system of reciprocation, that is called Sanatana Dharma, the eternal religion. It is meant for everyone. I'd like to just repeat that again, This understanding is wanted. Krishna is eternal, we are all eternal, and the place where we live with him and exchange our feelings, that is also eternal. And the system which teaches this eternal system of reciprocation, that is called Sanatan Dharma, the eternal religion. It is meant for everyone. So Pushta Krishna, how can people follow Sanatan Dharma on a practical daily basis? Srila Prabhupada, how are we doing it? Is it not practical? Krishna requests, Man mana bhava mat bhakto, mat yiji mam namaskuru. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your obeisances unto me. So, Pushta Krishna was asking, how can we practice Sanatan Dharma on a practical basis? So, Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Prabhupada is giving this nice verse from the Bhagavad Gita and is addressing this question. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your obeisances unto me. And that is Krishna saying that. So this is a practical means of performing this Sanatan Dharma. So where is the impracticality? Where is the difficulty? And Krishna promises, Mam evai syasi, asham saya. If you do this, you'll come to me without any doubt. You will come to me. Why don't you do that? Later, Krishna requests Sarva Dharmam, Parityaya, Mam Ekam Saranam Vraja. Give up all varieties of concocted religion and simply surrender unto me. This is practical religion. Just surrender to Krishna and think, I am a devotee of Krishna, a servant of Krishna. Take this simple approach, then everything will be immediately done. Real Dharma, real religion, means Dharmam tu Shakshad Bhagavad Pranitam. What God says, that is Dharma. Now God says, give up all concocted Dharma and just surrender unto me. So take that Dharma. So why don't you take this? Why don't you take Krishna's instruction? Why do you go outside his instruction? That is the cause of all your troubles. You do not know the difference between the Sanatan Dharma, the real eternal religion, and your concocted Dharma. If you take to some false religious system, then you suffer. But if you take to the real religious system, then you will be happy. Of course, nowadays, India, like the rest of the world, has given up on the real religious system, Sanatan Dharma, or Varnashram Dharma. In India, they have accepted a hodgepodge thing called Hinduism. So there's trouble. Everywhere, but in India specifically, especially, people should know that the real religion is this Vedic system. Vedic religion means Varnashram Dharma. Krishna says, God says, Chatur Varanyam Maya Shristam. For spiritual and material progress, the four occupational divisions of society have been set up by me. So that is obligatory. Just as the state law is obligatory, you cannot say, I don't accept this law. No, you have to accept it if you want to have a happy life. You cannot become an outlaw. Then you'll not be happy. You will be punished. Now, God says, Maya Shristam. This Varnashram system is given by me. So how can we refuse to follow it? That means we are denying the real religion, Dharmam tu Sakshat Bhagavan Pranidam. Real Dharma, real religion, means the order given by God. And God says, Chatur Varanyam Maya Shristam Guna Karma Vibhukasa. For the proper management of human society, I've created these 4 societal divisions based on people's qualities and actions. So you have to accept it. Pushta Krishna. This would be the prescription for all people. Srila Prabhupada. For everyone. At the head of the societal body, of the social body, there must be an intelligent class of men who would give advice, and that would be the Brahmanas. Then there must be the administrative and protective class, being the Kshatriyas, the farming and mercantile class, being the Vaishya, sort of business trade, and then the laboring class being the Sudras. So this is all given in the Bhagavad Gita: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. But when you fully surrender to Krishna, you can give up all regulations pertaining to these 4 social classes. That is why Krishna says, Sarva Dharmam Parityajya. In the ultimate issue, my instruction is to give up all religious formularies, including even Vedic formularies, and simply surrender to me. Brahmana Dharma, Kshatriya Dharma, Hindu Dharma, this Dharma, that Dharma. Give all these up and simply surrender to Krishna, because the ultimate aim of Dharma is to come to Krishna. You directly come to me, then everything is all right. So one disciple is saying, so many people concoct their own system and say, this is the way to go to God. Srila Prabhupada responds, then let them suffer. What can be done? If you don't accept the laws of the state and you manufacture your own laws, then you will suffer, the state says. Keep to the right, but if you make your own law, no, I will keep to the left, then you will suffer. It is a fact. Krishna is personally advising, Sarva Dharman Parijaya Mam Ekam Saranam Vraja. Give up all your concocted religions and surrender unto me. Take his advice and be happy. I'll definitely be trying to take this advice, because every time when someone mentions, the word surrender, give up all, forms of concoctions and just surrender, it seems so sort of enslaving, but this surrender, I feel like it's something that can only be experienced in terms of you feeling you just have to give them a try. The orders of Srila Prabhupada as the spiritual master and someone who is meant to take you to Krishna back home, on a one-way ticket. So it's very sort of, it has that glitchy thing that, okay, now I have to surrender and give everything up. But as I feel like as you do it and you follow the, processes, the 9 processes of devotional service, then that is meant to purify you, and eventually you will surrender. So yeah, back to the reading. The process of surrender to Krishna is described in the Hari Bhakta Vilasa. verse chapter 11, verse 676. Anukulyasya sankalpa Praticulasya Vrajanam Raksha Rakshisyati Rakshisyatiti Vishvaisu Gopritve Varanam Tata Atma Nikshepa Karpanye Sad Veda Sarana Gati. According to the devotional process, one should simply accept such religious principles that will lead ultimately to the devotional service of the Lord. One may perform a particular occupational duty according to his position in the societal order. But if by executing his duty one does not come to the point of Krishna consciousness, all his activities are in vain. Anything that does not lead to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. One should be confident that in all circumstances, Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. There's no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see to that. One should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna the only basis for his progress in life. So I like that point, especially because at times it sort of links to exactly what Savya Sachi and Kosi Prabhu has been saying over like the past 2 days, that real progress is spiritual progress. We have so many we've made so much material progress, and we're saving so much time with all these gadgets and devices, but what are we doing with that time? It's sort of all in vain, due to delusion as well as forgetfulness, this state of delusion and forgetfulness that we find ourselves in, whereby we're trying to create the most comfortable material conditions as possible, for us to live and stay here, forever. That's what we're trying to do. And as the previous reading was saying somewhere by Sabyasachi Prabhu, what's the point of increasing the standard of living for a pig? If I'm living like a pig, and my main concerns are just eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, then there's not really any, it's extremely futile to try and make those activities more fruitful for me. We don't need a really gorgeous arrangement for sleeping, and as well as the other things. It's like my capacity to eat will remain the same. Same 2 slices of toast tomorrow that fill me up today, they'll probably do the job tomorrow. And I should take up this process of bhakti yoga as early as possible and not waste any time. I think I will close it here today. Any questions? I think I saw some questions that I might have missed pop up in the chat. So just a few announcements before wrapping it off. Oh, okay, so we have Peter Okuluze Bile gave a star. Okay, thank you for that, Peter. I don't know what the star means, but I'm pretty sure it's a auspicious mark. But yeah, please catch Kulufelu Prabhu tomorrow, continuing with this book, Civilization and Transcendence. On Tuesday, You can catch Nomsa Winkosi. Wednesday it's Dumeling, and Thursday it's the books at the Basis Book Club. I'm not sure which book we're gonna be reading, but excited to see. So if you wanna also get the reveal of which book are we doing on Thursdays rather, you can join us at 7 p.m. It's a really enlivening. Oh, we're still continuing with the Krishna book. Yeah, man, bring more pastimes to just us, sit and relish in, and just try and absorb our thoughts in. It's really not hard, not too difficult to remember the past times, especially when you've heard them and they're still fresh. So it helps a lot in terms of just purifying our thoughts and protecting the hearer of the past time from mundane thoughts, thinking about all sorts of worries and material situations. So, yeah, I hope I didn't miss any comments. And from my side, I can just say please catch tomorrow's session. And thank you so much for showing up and experiencing the reading with me. Good night.
The Science of Self-Realization is a great book, and I know everybody suggests that, but my suggestion will come with the added caveat of reading Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. I think the reason those two books matter for me is because they were always searching, right? One of the types of people that Krishna attracts are people who are searching. And for people who are searchers, who search for truth, who search for more, who search for service, who search for a life that's bigger than them, those are the two books that answer that. That's me.